There was a time when being a blogger was something special because not everybody was a blogger. Now, anybody is a blogger or can be a blogger. It's easy to set up a blog. But just because you blog doesn't mean that the world is going to be the path to your door. I mean, you could be writing amazing content, like just doing everything exactly the way you should. You could have all the right plugins and extensions installed. You could be using the right platform. You could have everything you could possibly want on that blog, and still nobody cares. I think that's probably the biggest problem facing blogging today, because the story that you report could be the same story that everybody who's more important than you has reported, at which point you have to ask yourself, well, why are you reporting it? What makes your blog and your insight that much more valuable than anybody else's? And, you know, certainly on my blog, chris.pirillo.com, or the blog that I'm about to reference, lockergnome.com, wherein we've written an article that is helpful, that is very unique. We've got 5 great resources for all bloggers. And, you know, if you're not a blog, fine. I mean, you are yourself assumedly not a blog. If you're not a blogger, that's okay. You may know of a blogger, someone in your family, someone you work with. These are tips you may want to pass along to them. When people ask, why can't I get others to pay attention to the things I'm blogging about, I always respond with, well, where else are you participating? And if they answer nowhere, and I say, well, there's the answer to your question. You have to go out beyond your blog to draw attention back to your blog. So for instance, right now I'm doing a video on YouTube about a blog post that we wrote about to help bloggers, well, do what they do, to blog. You're looking for better resources, a better use of your time, and we've listed out a few of them, including social media. I'm a huge proponent for video. I can do it in an okay fashion. I am comfortable in front of the camera. I'm used to talking to nobody, or my dogs, you know, or the walls, you know, things that don't respond back to me versus human beings who, for the most part, should respond in kind. And social media has been a great way to get the word out about what I do, and video has been, I would say, even more of a boon to letting people become aware that we have resources beyond YouTube. If you aren't using social media, this is, I think, a big mistake. There was I wouldn't consider him a blogger, but a writer who has just apparently scripted a set of poems, and he emailed me and asked what can he do to get the word out about these poems that he's published. And I asked him if he'd ever, you know, if he had a Twitter account. And he said, no, I thought it was a waste of time. How do you think people are going to discover you? You can't just expect that you're going to put a website online and it's going to stay at the top of Google forever, or even get on the first page for a Google result that someone might be searching for to find the content that you have written. So using social media, I think, is to me a no-brainer. And you may have thought, well, yeah, of course I use social media. Another thing you may consider in terms of blogging and a resource that's at your disposal is an analytics package, and we all have our favorites. If you don't know how people are coming to you, or really why, how long they're staying, you know, what's the most popular content on your website at any given time, what was the most popular article that you had posted over the past week, month, year, day, or whatever, analytics can be very helpful. And Google Analytics, I would say, for the most part, does well enough. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not 100%. It's just a script that you have installed, or not really installed, just copied and pasted into your Pages template. And it's free. You don't need to pay to use it. It's actually, Google Analytics is Urchin, or what used to be Urchin. I used Urchin before it was acquired by Google Analytics, or I guess Google, and became Google Analytics. And if you're not looking at those stats, it can be very troublesome. So, I mean, for you, because you don't know what's going on. You're putting up content, but you don't know what's happening with it. YouTube's just rolled out YouTube Analytics, and that's been nice because I've been able to see different trends with our videos. So, for example, you know, I would say our views, since doing TLDR Live and clipping out these individual videos as segments into playlists, our views have steadily increased. We're up more views than we were before we started doing TLDR Live with these segments. But more importantly, looking at the analytics showed me that more of you are visiting LockerGnome.com. And more of you are watching more than one video. So instead of just being a random viewer, looking at one video and leaving, people in a general trend are watching one video and then watching another and then watching another and so on and so forth. And that's what I want. I want I want more people, but I want more people. I would rather have fewer people watching more videos than more people watching fewer videos. So to me, that speaks to the quality of the audience, of my community. And the only way I was able to surface that intelligence was using analytics. So we've got a few of these resources and guidelines for you. If you are creating content here, there, or wherever, to help you optimize the time that you spend creating the content. And so we have to thank, I believe this one was written by Matt over on LockerGnome.com, if I'm not mistaken. It is, Matt Ryan. And by the way, I think Matt and I discovered each other through YouTube. He was a follower, and then we realized, wow, this guy's got talent. Let's see if we can bring him into the fold as a part of the LockerGnome family. And so now, I guess Matt could be considered a professional blogger. If you want to be a professional blogger too, we might be able to help.